Max was no ordinary husky. He had striking blue eyes and a fluffy coat, but what set him apart was his spirit of adventure. Max lived with the Johnson family, who adored his playful antics and infectious energy. He loved chasing squirrels, playing fetch, and snuggling with his family, but Max yearned for more, often staring out the window, dreaming of far-off lands. Little did he know an adventure was just around the corner. The Johnson family was planning a trip to Brazil and decided to bring Max along. Max was ecstatic, his tail wagging excitedly. The adventure was about to begin. The flight to Brazil was long, spanning over 10 hours, but the excitement of the journey kept everyone in high spirits. The hum of the airplane engines and the occasional chatter of passengers created a soothing background noise. Max, the family's beloved golden retriever, handled it like a champ. He was calm and composed, nestled comfortably in his travel crate, occasionally peeking out to observe the surroundings. His serene demeanor was a source of comfort for the Johnson family. When they finally landed in Rio de Janeiro, Max couldn't believe his eyes. The bustling airport was a stark contrast to the quiet airplane cabin. Max's tail wagged furiously as he took in the new sights and sounds, his excitement palpable. The city was a riot of colors, sounds, and smells. The vibrant street markets were filled with an array of exotic fruits, spices, and handcrafted goods. The air was thick with the aroma of street food, and the lively music added to the festive atmosphere. As they made their way to their hotel, Max's senses were on high alert. He eagerly looked out the car window, his nose twitching as he tried to take in all the new scents. The city's energy was infectious, and Max was eager to explore. The streets were alive with people, their laughter and chatter filling the air. Street performers entertained passers-by, and vendors called out to potential customers. The vibrant culture of Rio was on full display, and the Johnson family couldn't wait to immerse themselves in it. Their hotel was a charming villa with a stunning view of the Christ the Redeemer statue. The villa's architecture was a blend of traditional and modern styles, and the lush greenery surrounding it added to its charm. The view of the iconic statue was breathtaking, especially at sunset. Max was immediately drawn to the garden filled with exotic flowers and tropical birds. The vibrant colors and the sweet scent of the flowers captivated him. He explored every nook and cranny, his curiosity leading him to discover new sights and sounds. After settling in, the Johnson family took Max for a walk along Copacabana Beach. The beach was a popular spot, with locals and tourists alike enjoying the sun and surf. Max was thrilled to see other dogs playing and running around. Max loved the feel of the warm sand and the cool ocean breeze. He ran along the shoreline, his paws kicking up sand as he went. The sound of the waves crashing against the shore was soothing, and the sight of the endless ocean was mesmerizing. It was the perfect start to their Brazilian adventure. The sights and sounds of Brazil were a feast for Max's senses. The bustling streets were alive with vibrant colors and the lively chatter of people. Everywhere he looked, there was something new and exciting to see. The air was filled with the aroma of exotic fruits and sizzling street food. Vendors called out to passers-by, enticing them with the promise of delicious treats. The scent of grilled meats, fresh fruits, and baked goods mingled in the air, creating a symphony of smells that was impossible to resist. One day, Max's nose caught a whiff of something intriguing. His curiosity piqued, he began to follow the scent, weaving through the crowded streets with determination. The smell grew stronger with each step, guiding him like an invisible thread. He followed the scent to a street vendor selling pão de queijo, a traditional Brazilian cheese bread. The vendor's stall was a small, unassuming cart, but the aroma wafting from it was irresistible. Max's mouth watered as he approached, his eyes fixed on the golden, cheesy bread. The vendor offered Max a piece and he devoured it in one gulp. The warm, cheesy bread melted in his mouth and he couldn't help but wag his tail in delight. It was the most delicious thing he had ever tasted. The old man chuckled and gave Max another piece. His eyes twinkled with amusement as he watched Max eagerly gobble up the treat. "You like that, don't you, little one?" he said with a smile. Max barked happily in response, his tail wagging furiously. Max wagged his tail gratefully and trotted off towards a nearby park. His belly full and his heart content, he felt a sense of adventure bubbling up inside him. The park was a lush green oasis in the middle of the bustling city, and Max couldn't wait to explore it. He was eager to explore this new green space. The park was filled with tall trees, blooming flowers, and winding paths that seemed to beckon him forward. Birds chirped in the branches above, and the sound of children playing filled the air. Perhaps he would encounter more delicious treats along the way. Max sniffed the ground eagerly, his nose leading him on a new adventure. Every corner of the park held the promise of new scents and discoveries, and Max was ready to explore them all. The park was a welcome respite from the bustling city streets. Max loved chasing butterflies and exploring the lush greenery. He noticed a flash of bright blue and yellow perched on a branch. It was a parrot named Coco, who greeted Max with a friendly, "Hola!" Max was taken aback but wagged his tail, happy to make a new friend. Coco introduced himself and welcomed Max to Brazil. They quickly became friends, exploring the park together. Max barked happily, and Coco squawked in response. It was the beginning of an unlikely friendship. Max and Coco spent the afternoon getting to know each other. Coco told Max about the best spots in the park and the most entertaining humans to observe. Max shared stories of his life back home. Despite their differences, they found a way to communicate. Max was fascinated by Coco's ability to mimic sounds. Coco imitated bird calls, car honks, and children's laughter. Max's boundless energy and enthusiasm were contagious. They were an odd pair, but the best of friends. One evening, Max and Coco heard the sound of samba music. They followed the music to a small plaza where people were dancing. Max wagged his tail to the beat, and Coco bobbed its head. Coco encouraged Max to dance, and he pranced around the plaza. The dancers laughed and clapped, encouraging Max's performance. Coco squawked with delight, "You're a natural, Max!" Max continued to dance, his heart filled with joy. The sun set over Rio, painting the sky in vibrant hues. It was a magical moment. The Johnson family took a day trip to Tijuca National Park. Max and Coco were invited along for the adventure. As they hiked, Max's senses were on high alert. Coco served as their guide, pointing out interesting plants and animals. They hiked past waterfalls, towering trees, and crystal-clear streams. Max couldn't believe how different the rainforest was from home. It was a whole new world to explore. Max felt a sense of peace and tranquility wash over him. It was a welcome escape from the city. Max loved the food in Brazil. The Johnson family treated him to local delicacies. Max especially loved acarajé, a dish with black-eyed pea fritters and shrimp. Coco couldn't partake in Max's culinary adventures. However, Max always shared a taste of his food with Coco. Coco often brought Max small gifts in return. It was their way of showing appreciation for each other's friendship. One evening they had a picnic on Copacabana Beach, creating a picture-perfect moment. Max and Coco's friendship grew stronger with each passing moment. They were inseparable, exploring the city and playing in the park. Their bond was built on mutual respect, trust, and a shared love of adventure. Max encouraged Coco to try new things, while Coco helped Max navigate the unfamiliar surroundings. One day, Max's ball bounced into a pond. Coco guided Max into the water, teaching him how to swim. Max quickly got the hang of it, paddling around happily. Coco cheered him on from his perch on Max's back. Their friendship was built on play and trust. Sadly, all good things must come to an end. The Johnson family's trip to Brazil was nearing its end. Max was sad to say goodbye to Coco, but knew they would never forget their time together. On their last day, they reminisced about their adventures and promised to stay in touch. As the plane took off, Max spotted Coco perched atop a palm tree, squawking a final farewell. Max barked back, his tail wagging one last time. Back home, life returned to normal, but Max had changed. The once carefree Husky now had a new depth in his eyes, a sense of longing that wasn't there before. He would often sit by the window, staring out as if he could see the distant lands of Brazil from his cozy spot. His family noticed the change, but they knew it was because Max had found something special during his travels. He often thought about Coco and their adventures in Brazil. The memories of running through the vibrant streets, playing on the sandy beaches, and exploring the lush forests were etched in his mind. Max would daydream about the times they spent together, the laughter, the fun, and the bond they had formed. It was a friendship that had left a lasting impression on his heart. One day, the Johnson family received a postcard from Brazil. It was a bright and colorful card, with a picture of a beautiful beach on the front. The family gathered around as they opened it, curious to see who it was from. Max's ears perked up as he sensed something familiar. It was from Coco's human owner with a picture of Coco and a message, "Dear Max, I miss you. Come back to Brazil soon. Your friend, Coco." The words were simple, but they carried a world of emotion. Max's tail began to wag furiously as he saw Coco's picture and read the heartfelt message. It was as if Coco was right there with him, bridging the miles that separated them. Max wagged his tail excitedly. The postcard was a reminder that their friendship was still strong, despite the distance. It filled him with hope and joy, knowing that Coco was thinking of him too. The bond they shared was unbreakable, and this small gesture meant the world to Max. He knew this wasn't goodbye, but rather a see you later. The message from Coco reassured him that their adventures were far from over. Max looked out the window with a renewed sense of optimism, dreaming of the day they would be reunited. He could almost feel the warm Brazilian sun on his fur and hear the sound of the waves crashing on the shore. Max carried a piece of Brazil with him always. Whether it was a small keepsake, a Brazil-themed toy, or just the memories in his heart, Brazil was never far from his thoughts. It was a place that had given him a lifelong friend and countless adventures. Max cherished every moment he had spent there and looked forward to creating new memories in the future. He couldn't wait to return and reunite with Coco. The thought of seeing his friend again filled him with excitement and anticipation. Max was ready for more adventures, more fun, and more memories. He knew that their friendship was a rare and special one, and he was grateful for every moment they had shared. The adventurous Husky continued to explore the world, his heart filled with the warmth of Brazilian sunshine and the joy of a friendship that knew no bounds. Max's journey was far from over, and he embraced every new experience with the same enthusiasm and spirit that had brought him to Brazil in the first place. With Coco in his heart and the world at his paws, Max was ready for whatever came next.